Welcome to the Jill on Money podcast. It is Sunday, October 10th, and we are trying to help you navigate your financial journey, and we do that with a little bit of common sense and a very good dose of humor. Sometimes, Mark, I listen to the podcast and I'm walking the dogs and I actually laugh out loud. I do. I think that we are rather humorous. Maybe you guys don't, but I get a tickle out of it. You know what my girlfriend said to me? Don't you get sick of hearing your own voice? I said, no, I think Mark does, but I don't. And I think she does too. Oh, gosh. Anyway, send us your notes. Go to JillOnMoney.com. JillOnMoney.com is our website. Bookmark it. Come on. You can always go back there and hit that contact button when anything comes up. Today, we are joined by listener Lisa. She is on the line from Minneapolis. Hi, Lisa. How can we help you out?
Well, when Mark contacted me and said that I could get your advice, I was thinking, what's the best visual image to describe our current financial situation?
Okay.
And I came upon the imagery of we are treading water.
Wait a minute. You don't sound like that yet.
Yeah. But the good news is that we're not sinking, but
okay.
we're nowhere near floating leisurely on our backs.
All right.
So
we're
treading. Okay.
So treading water is okay. It does take quite a bit of energy, though. So as I recall from my, lifeguard rescue class.
Yep.
So tell me about you and what's going on. And maybe your head is a bit more above water than just treading.
Yes. Well, my husband and I are in our late 50s, and we have our nest egg is all in our IRAs that are held at Vanguard, and then we have our 401k, and I get a SEP IRA at my office.
Okay.
And approximately, I'll say $700,000 in the Vanguard IRAs, and we're the type that just set it and forget it. We don't look at the market. We don't worry about it. It's like pretend money to us. You know, it's not there. And then we have about another $80,000 in our current 401k. Mm-hmm. But that's really it. And in terms of when I hear callers, call you up and say, "Well, I have all this extra money to invest." Well, we don't, because we have twins that we're putting through college right now.
Oh, come on with the twins. Are they identical or fraternal?
No, fraternal, a boy and a girl, and it was late in life, my advanced maternal age, and we had two at once, and it's been great, but that takes a lot right now, and people go through this all the time. And basically with college, what we're doing is the majority of the tuition's coming out of our earnings. Mm-hmm. Then we supplement that with what we put away in a 529 plan, and the kids are taking out federal loans. But, we all have skin in the game that way.
So when you think about this nest egg that you have, and let me ask you a sort of an overriding question. There's not a lot of extra money to put away, but
right.
Are you maxing out your 401k and your SEP IRA at this point?
No.
Okay.
What we're doing is we're putting enough in there. We're putting about $16,000 away in that a year. And
that's good.
To make the matches. We make our matches that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm going to be doing with, and it's about a third of our income that's going to college tuition.
How much you guys make together?
Yeah, about $196,000.
Okay.
When I married my husband, he was going to college, and I worked in a faculty-like position at a major university in the area. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know it at that time, but when they took out 2% of my salary, I knew about it, but I didn't appreciate it. They put in 13%.
Oh, my gosh.
So from the time I was in my mid-20s to my mid-30s, until I had the kids, I got a nest egg that really, I'm a poster child for the power of compound interest.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I look nowadays and I think, wow, look how big that number is.
Yeah, that's a real number, almost $800,000. That's a pretty big number. How much do you think you guys need to live on? Just, give a guess on a monthly basis without the kids.
Well, without the kids, basically, when you think about it, right now we're living on 60% of our earnings.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're not living luxuriously, but we're living on 60% of what we make, because a third of it goes to the kids.
Mm-hmm. So 10 grand a month about is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, even less than that. I mean, right now we're netting about $9,000, and $3,000 of that goes to tuition.
Oh, so you think 6 grand a month? Okay, so you're saying I'm saying I was doing
right.
pre-tax. Okay, so 6 grand a month. Okay, you plan to work how much longer? Would you guess? You said you're in your late 50s.
Yeah. So what we're thinking is another 10 years working full time. And then, when I say that, we can each do gigs or contract work after that.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're 67, I think we'd like to be done having a boss per se and be part of an office. But we can make things work until we're 70, because that's my goal, is that we wouldn't tap Social Security until then.
All right. At some point when college is done, you may be able to put in more than, what you're putting in now, $16,000. But when I look at 10 years from now, you should probably have somewhere close to like $1.6 million, one and a half to $1.6 million, depends on how you do in the markets and et cetera.
Right.
And you say you need $6,000 a month. Tell me what the Social Security benefit estimate is for you guys at age 70.
At age 70 would be about $6,000.
Okay. So that's pretty great. I think that you guys are in really good shape, because what happens is that, essentially delaying that Social Security is an amazing thing. As you know, the money just compounds. You get that extra 8% annually. It also allows that money that you've set aside to grow more. And, even at 1.6 or so, that's like 48 grand a year. So if you look at your Social Security plus the money that's throwing off from your portfolio, you should be fine. So I know you feel like you're treading water. What I am going to suggest to you is that you're doing really well. You are absolutely in very good shape, and especially considering that you're putting these kids through school at the exact same time. Now, so now take a breath. That's all good.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So let's talk about how you are investing the money, because you said you've got this sort of set it and forget it mentality. Most of the money that's invested currently is in Vanguard funds. You said $700,000. So how do you invest the money? Are you using index funds? Are you?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
And what's the breakdown?
Yeah, the breakdown, and that was the next question, Jill. So the breakdown right now is 70% equities, 30% bonds.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking over the next 10 years, we need to modify that asset allocation. Or do we need to do it over the next 10 years? That's what I'm looking to you for. I mean, when do we start modifying the allocation, and what should be our end goal like in 10 years?
So tell me a little bit how you guys have felt when markets have gyrated, because part of this is about your feeling, and part of it is the reality that you can't afford to lose too much of this money, because we need you to be able to count on it for income. When
I say that we kind of pretend that money doesn't exist, that's kind of our mentality in terms of that's not real money right now. But
of course, in 10 years, you'll feel quite differently, because it will be real money. If you were to just go to 60-40 now, there would be pretty much no downside. I mean, if the market kept charging way higher from here, you'll miss some of that upside. But you know what? If we do, we'll get another downturn. It'll happen at some point. And in that respect, 60-40 is probably more of a set it and forget it kind of portfolio. 70-30, it'll catch your attention if in 2 years the market's down, and you had $1 million, let's say. And all of a sudden, over the course of time, 2 years from now, we go into a real bear market and your $1 million turns into 750 grand. I think that's really tough to take when you're, basically, 58, 59, 60 years old.
Yep.
Look, I don't think you have to do it right this second. What I do think would be really important for you is to figure out how much risk you really want to take. If now you're like, you know what, I really do want to have set it and forget it. There's the downside of going to 60-40 immediately would be that the market keeps rising and you call me up and say, remember when I said I thought I hit the lottery by talking to you? What I didn't realize, I just hit 3 lemons on the slot machine. I am a very nervous Nelly. So I tend to be the kind of person who would rather protect what I have, and I would give up the upside for that. But look, if you and your husband feel really confident that you're going to keep your jobs and there's really that you don't have a lot of risk there and you want to be able to take a little bit of a ride here, you will then have to say, okay, we're going to live through one more market downturn and then upswing. And we're going to keep working and we'll be able to manage it. Or, gee, I don't want to have to worry that much, so I'll do 60-40 right now. But that's it. Okay. I wouldn't go much beyond that. I think you're doing everything you should be doing. Okay, if you, like Lisa, just need a little bit of assistance, all we ask is that you give us a holler. Ask Jill at JillOnMoney.com. That's the email address. But no one seems to be using that anymore, Mark. So maybe should I stop saying it overall, or should I just do the website? What do you think? Okay, Mark says 99.9%, which I think is an overestimation of what the real traffic is. He says most people come in through JillOnMoney.com. So I will just say, go to JillOnMoney.com, click on the contact button, tell us what's on your mind, and you'll get the opinions of 2 certified financial planners, me and Mark. Please let us know how we can help you out, or if you find a great guest you think we should have on the show, send us that as well. Put your hands on someone's back, either metaphorically if they're far away, or give someone a hug as long as you're both vaccinated. And remember our mantra, grit, growth, grace, with a little bit of gratitude. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for listening.